Hi everyone, welcome to GM Orange's channel. In this part 1 video of the Battle of Gods series, we are going to see the game between Karpov versus Kasparov. Some of you might be thinking, why is this called the Battle of Gods? Well, I could simply name it as World Championship match or World Championship match series, but I would like to call this the Battle of Gods because simply it's played between some of the best players in the world, not just the players alone, but some of the best minds in the world accompanying them, helping them prepare for the tournament, not just for a few days, but for a few months, and in many occasions, it also goes on for a few years. These best players with best seconds available, they train for the World Championship match, they give in all their effort for the World Championship, and they try to produce some of the best games possible. I think a situation every single chess player or even every sportsman in general can relate to is when we play in a tournament. Think of it this way. You're playing in a tournament and you're in the final round and you know that a win would ensure the championship, the title, and you are paired with one of your arch rivals, your nemesis. And you know you have to overcome this to win the tournament. And the next few hours that you have, you know that if you are going to play your best, you're going to come out uh, winning the game, winning the tournament. That feeling, that pressure, I think I can't really express this in words. It's a feeling that we can basically only when we are in the put in that situation we'll be able to experience it. I'm sure every chess player or any sports person will have would have definitely went through that. But in a world championship match, when you know that all your life you have been waiting for this moment, you know you have an opportunity in front of you, your opponent has made a mistake, here is your chance, you have to grasp it. The pressure is immense. The moment, I mean, it's really a very difficult moment. You have to have tremendous mental strength, energy to overcome that. And certainly calling those matches, calling them gods, I think should definitely fit in. So in this video, I would like to call, I would like to see the games between Karpov and Kasparov, an important game in their World Championship match series. They have played like 4 or 5 World Championship matches, and among them, this is from the 1985 World Championship match where Kasparov became the world champion, became the youngest world champion. Uh, Karpov, prior to this, like I think starting from 1972, 73, once Fischer made a retirement, Karpov was those 10, 12 years, I think he was almost invincible. Like how we see Carlsen dominating in today's world. I think Karpov's domination was very similar or maybe even higher than that. And at one point, people really thought uh, Karpov cannot be beaten. And young Kasparov, at the age of 22, he comes and they had a very tough match in 1984, and the match prolonged endlessly. And after stopping the match here in this 1985 match, they resumed their match, and this is the 16th game of that match. After trading a few blows each other, and after a few draws, here comes an important game. I think a position that Kasparov was aiming for after a pawn sacrifice, as black is a pawn down in this position. We reach a position like this, and black's last move was knight to d3. A simple threat is pawn to b4. Now, apparently, this is in this moment Karpov makes his last mistake. This is around move number 17, and you should see the way the game went from here onwards. If you wish to keep the game interactive, I think you can stop the video after every white's move and try to find out what black should do. And I'll also help you guys understand what exactly is going on in this in each and every moment. So let's try to understand what's happening to begin with. So white's a pawn down, pawn up in this position. Black, because of his activity in this position, his pieces are much more active, and black's pieces are certainly much well placed, much better placed than white's pieces. And white's last move, the knight b1 move, apparently was a mistake, and mainly because keeping the knight in the edge of the board is really not very good idea. From here, black played such an energetic game, not letting white get what he wants. Now, to understand this better, with knight b1, we can understand it this way. Black has this knight on d3, which is one of the most important pieces in this position. I think without that knight, I certainly think black wouldn't have enough compensation to neutralize the extra pawn advantage that white has. But the knight on d3 certainly gives black tremendous compensation, maybe more than just enough compensation for the pawn. But to get rid of that knight, white certainly wants to do bishop e2. From here, at least for next 10 moves, say, you will see white trying to make this bishop e2 move, and black one way or the other trying to stop it. So in this position, the first question would be, how are you going to stop bishop e2? Well, it has to be forcing, obviously. So you can think about moves like b4. Obviously, after knight a4, things are not very clear. Bishop e2 might be coming in soon. Black started off with h6. Okay, so the simplest point is white cannot play bishop e2. Bishop is under attack. And if white wishes to go bishop f6 followed by bishop e2, still not available in this position because knight and f2 is a possibility, after which both bishop and f2 first or bishop and b1 first should work. So as we can see, white is losing material at this point, and this is still not enough. Bishop e3 is a possibility, after which bishop takes, pawn takes, queen b6, and I think black still has tremendous compensation, and he might even end up winning some material back after that. White continued with a natural follow-up, bishop h4. Now, once again, bishop e2 is a threat that has, once again, white is coming out with the same threat. Black continued with b4. Now, more or less, yeah, the knight is under attack. Knight a4 is what white played. Knight e2 is other option, but knight a4 is forcing, maybe because of that white chose knight a4. Black moved bishop d6, and once again bishop d6 also stops bishop e2. If you want to try out, you can find out how it stops bishop e2 exactly, and bishop e2 can be met with bishop f4. Now, as you can see, queen's under attack, and the queen moves rook c8, and I think once again white is definitely going to lose material at this point. So bishop e2 is not available for white at this point as well. And after bishop d6, bishop f4 is a real threat. White continued with bishop to g3 to stop bishop f4 immediately. Now, once again, we see white wants to go bishop e2, and black tries to stop this with rook c8. So one can wonder what is rook c8 has to do with bishop e2, but we'll understand as we see. Bishop e2 is met with knight e4. Now, the queen obviously doesn't have many squares to go to. Either queen d3 or queen e3 are the only available options. Either way, knight g3, and once again, white is losing material after this. So, coming back to rook c8. But rook c8 exactly stops white's bishop e2 move alone. But if you think about it, it doesn't have any clear idea by itself. So white played another move. Now probably he gave up the idea of bishop e2 after this, and with b3, white was preparing for knight b2. And once he gets rid of this knight, certainly white will be able to look forward for a much better position. Now black has to stop knight b2 once again, and again it was not the move that black played. It has nothing connected with knight b2 immediately, but it has a very deep idea. He came up with g5. The point is, once again, knight b2 is not available for white anymore because knight takes, queen takes is met with, followed by rook c2, will end up winning material for black again. So b3 met with g5 stops knight b2 once again. And okay, once again, the old idea. Bishop e2 is still met with knight e4. There is no changes with that. White took on d6 and queen takes d6. And white continued with g3 at this point. Now, the basic idea is to get the bishop some space to move away. For example, one of the threats that black has is g4. Like for example, in this case, g4, bishop e2 is the only available square. Again, that can be met with knight e4 or knight f4. Either way, I think rook c2 is also threatened, which is quite dangerous in this position. Now, g3 was played with the idea of meeting g4 with bishop to g2. Now, once again, we see that white is coming up with knight b2 threat, as g4 will be met with bishop g2, and again, without the bishop on e2, there is nothing that black can do. After knight into b2, queen into b2, rook c2, white will simply move the queen away as the bishop is safely on g2. No issues for him. And black countered this with knight d7. Now, we can see this knight d7 move as like preparation for knight e5 in case white goes knight b2, but knight b2 apparently was the strongest move in this position. This probably was the one more inaccuracy from white, but knight b2 still would have been a much better fight, but not exactly equalizing for white anyways. But bishop g2, now, I mean, for any player, I think it's a feeling like, having an unprotected piece just doesn't feel good. So intuitively, any strong player wouldn't really like to have any piece that is left unprotected in his camp, and moving it to a safer spot, like it's an automatic decision, an intuitive decision that almost everybody does this. So bishop g2, but the problem is here, after this, black stops knight b2, and once again, as you can see, the knight on b1 or knight on a4 stranded in the edge of the board and unable to come out. And once again, not to mention this knight, which has paralyzed both the rooks as well as the queen. Basically, none of these pieces are moving, if you think about it. Basically, white is running out of moves, to be precise. a3, getting rid of this grip on the pawn on b4, so taking away the c3, a3 squares. It's also met with simple moves a5. Now the pressure is maintained. The knight on b1 doesn't have a way out. So white came up with queen to a2 with the idea of knight d2, knight c4. Like at least trying to get the knight out. Once again, black stopped that with bishop to g6. Now the idea is knight e2 can be met with rook e2, which attacks the f2 pawn as well. I think with this white's idea, bishop f3 is once and for all stopped, because in this case queen at f3 is hanging, which is basically the point of bishop g6. Whereas in this position, when white went queen a2, knight d2 is a real possibility because rook e2 can be met with bishop f3. But after he went with bishop g6, knight d2, rook e2 is certainly causing white a lot of problems. So white continued with d6. The point is queen d6 once again can be met with knight d2, which up to some extent will release the pressure. And black once again, instead of going after the material, he continues to play for initiative, continued with g4. Now f3 square is also weak. At some point, knight e5, knight f3 is a real possibility. So more threats coming in. Queen d2, attacking the h6 pawn. Black simply defended with king g7. I think more or less white tried everything, all the possible options that he had in the center and on the queen side. And black has more or less managed to maintain this initiative. And white came out with f3. trying to get some space to breathe on the king side at least, which was also met with queen d6, pawn takes. Now this is an important moment. Now I think black has the initiative. Black has, with forcing moves, you will be able to conclude the game. If you wish to find the correct idea, I think this might be a good place to start for black players. So if you're solving the position from by yourself, I think this could be a nice place to check. So the correct idea for black in this position is to go with queen d4 check, followed by black's next move is very important, which is knight to f6. Now the point is knight g4 is threatened, and once knight g4 happens, knight f2 is not far away. Other than knight g4, he has one more threat, which is knight to e4. And at this point, white continued with rook f4. I think more or less he was ready to give up material. And knight e4 was met with queen d3. This probably was white's final counterplay. He gives away the queen at this point and tried rook d2. The point is, he's going to win the bishop on d3 next move. Winning the third piece, in general, 3 minor pieces for a queen is not really that bad. But okay, not these minor pieces which are on the edge of the board. But if they are very well coordinated, then yeah, they might be even better than the queen. So this might be one final counterplay that you have to deal with. But if you've come up with the correct idea for black at this point, I think black wins pretty much straightforward at this point. So the correct idea for black in this position is to go with queen e3. Now the idea is to meet rook takes d3 with rook c1, a fantastic idea. The point is, in the game, white went with knight b2, but rook takes c3 could be met with rook d1, and in this case, bishop f1, he'll take the rook, and once again there is a double attack, and white's going to lose more material. King g2, rook takes b1, and double exchange up, and there is one more pawn on b3, which makes things much more easy for black to convert. Knight b2 was played, and this might be the final winning move, queen f2, with the threat of rook e1. Like, he doesn't have time to take the rook as well, because rook e1, bishop f1 will be met with queen f1, or rook e1, queen e1, followed by bishop f1, queen f1, should conclude the game. And knight d2 was played after queen f2, and somewhere here, yeah, white resigned at this point. So, to understand this game, think starting from that knight b1 move, which is where black got the tremendous initiative, but after that, more or less, it felt like black didn't really give him any chance for him to breathe. Like, every move that black played was more or less forcing, and I would say they were like playing cat and mouse. White trying to achieve bishop e2 and chase away that knight from d3, and black almost like never allowed that. And at one point he played b3 knight b2 idea, and even that was stopped. I think somewhere in between, white got one chance, and somewhere there I think Karpov went wrong. But a powerful game from Kasparov. Like, I don't know, like if you're playing in a match, if you have to meet a player who's beating you this way, I think it's not going to be very easy. And no wonder Kasparov eventually went on to win the World Championship match. Especially with such powerful play, I think Kasparov was able to show his usual style of play, which is he handles initiative very well. So it was almost like the matches between Karpov and Kasparov, or Capablanca and Alekhine. I wish to see of players of contrasting style. They are like masters in their own areas, and when they are fighting against each other, I think the games are excellent to watch, especially for chess fans, for genuine chess lovers. If you want to watch these games, I think these are like great chess literature. So I think with this, we can wind up this video here, and I'll see you all in another video. Take care, everyone. Goodbye.